Hi, I here. This is a reading for the sign of Capricorn. We're going to do a Celtic cross spread with the huge tarot deck, and what we see on the bottom of the deck is going to represent what you don't see coming. And once we get an idea of what the general message of this reading is going to be, we're going to pull 3 cards from the shadow deck to see what's going on in your subconscious and to see if there are any further clarifications we might need. So let's just see what happens. Okay, so today we are tuning in to the sign of Capricorn. So if that is your sun, your moon, or your rising sign, or however else you choose today to identify with the sign of Capricorn, you can use that as a way of interpreting the messages that are coming through. And as always, if the details of these messages don't fit, that's okay. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Never try to force anything. And if none of the details are really seeming to fit your life or your situation, that's okay. You can always check your other placements, or you can stick around and see what's going on in the world of other Capricorns. So what messages can we receive today? What things should we think about? What things should we meditate upon? Are there any warnings that we need to hear or see? Things perhaps we should try to avoid? Things we should try to not put our energy into? Or, on the flip side of that, are there positive things that we should move towards? Things that, should we put our energy in them, might make our lives a little bit easier, a little happier, or whatever it is that we're looking for. What messages can we receive today for those who are trying to tune in to the energy of the sign of Capricorn? Let's get one more good shuffle and see what our Celtic cross has for us today. Alright, feels pretty good. So let's see what we get. In the present moment, we start with the 6 of Wands. Victory. Alright, so perhaps you're meeting some sort of success currently in your life, or perhaps you're really basking in the glow of some recent success, or maybe there's a success just around the corner. Let's get a little bit of a sense of what this victory is about, or where it comes from, or perhaps how to move towards it. Oh, the 4 of Wands. So this is like trying to find your soul family, connecting with the people that are truly your family, not necessarily blood, but the people that you really connect and resonate with on a almost spiritual level, or if you're not a spiritual person, just the people you identify with as your true family. So perhaps the victory here is coming across the people that you really find to be the most important people in your life, and maybe there's a realization here that connecting with those people is what's going to bring you joy that perhaps you've been looking for otherwise. So let's get a sense of the rest of the spread here. Oh, the Fool, that's nice. We've got Judgment. Oh, there's a big change here. Ace of Cups. Oh, wow, okay. 4 of Pentacles. Okay, very nice. 3 of Pentacles. Ace of Swords. This is fantastic. We have a Knight of Swords, and we have a Page of Wands. Wow, that is beautiful. Okay. I feel like I need to point out, I've been including in these readings for this cycle a rune that I've been drawing each time before I begin the recording. I draw these at random, and this is a rune that represents the sun, and I just wanted to emphasize that because this feels like very positive sun-like energy right here. There's definitely feels like some very positive breakthrough, some almost like getting through something difficult and then having a nice, joyful, carefree experience as you're moving into working on whatever the next big thing is. This feels like a very positive breakthrough. I really like this. So why do I feel that? Let me explain what these cards are. Sort of the message they're sending towards me right now is. So as I said, we start with the Six of Wands. That's victory. That's success. And look at this card here. This guy here, he is coming into victory, and he's showing it off, right? This is not the most exciting version I've ever seen of this card, but it usually shows someone riding into town on their horse, ready to show off their victory. And this little wreath that he has here on his wand is like a crown that he is not just putting on his head, but holding above himself to show off to other people the success, and just how not only was this a victory, but this is a victory worth really sharing with others. The positivity is something that almost makes you glow. And with it being crossed here with that Four of Wands, like I said, I think this is a victory of perhaps a homecoming to returning back to the people that really matter the most to you, really connecting with the people that you find to be your closest allies, your closest confidants, perhaps, just the people that you feel you're most grounded and yourself around. Feels very, very fantastic here. In the past, we have the Fool. So the Fool is taking a leap of faith and just diving into life and just seeing what happens. And I think perhaps the Fool has maybe been battered around a bit here. Perhaps this leap of faith was something where you needed to go and find something about yourself. And I don't feel like this has always been good, but it's not always been bad either. I feel like it's just been a journey. You know, the major arcana is often described as the Fool's journey. It is the story of the Fool himself setting out as a naive youth and then going through all of these different trials and experiences and all these lessons that he learns. And I really feel like this timeline right here is essentially like a sort of microcosmic version of the Fool's journey. There's only one major arcana after the Judgment card in the major arcana. It is the 21st major arcana, which is the World, which is the dual card to the Fool, right? The Fool is like the smallest, emptiest sort of vessel ready to receive the experiences of life, and the World is the full completion of that experience. So I feel this as being a journey of you setting out to find yourself or to experience things that you needed to experience and see, and really feeling that call to embrace life. And as we are moving through this, there's a victory and a sort of homecoming of after this experience has occurred, after this journey has gone down, returning back home to share all the lessons and experiences of what you have been through, both good and bad. I mean, as you go through the major arcana, there are positive and negative experiences all along the way. But this is coming home sort of like grown from the Fool into a much more mature, victorious person, and then ready to connect with others with those lessons that you've learned. And then here in the near future, we have the Judgment card. This is a portal of walking through. I almost see this gateway here in this picture is almost in some ways like the portal that is being walked through. The Fool is returning home, sharing his victories and his knowledge, his successes, the lessons learned, interacting with those closest to him, and then taking those things into a new place. I feel this as not exactly the end of the journey, but the end of this era of the journey. This is the end of a sort of adolescent period of this situation. So I feel like a real sort of growth and maturity has occurred here. A new insight on how things are going to look going forward has occurred. And now it's time to take all those lessons and move forward into whatever the next challenge is. So the Judgment card, it's a gateway, but it's not like a nice, easy, simple gateway like we see here in the Four of Wands, which this to me almost feels like a pit stop. You know, it's returning home, coming to, you know, it's like at the end of The Hobbit, you know, when Bilbo comes back home, he's finished his adventure, and then he kind of lives out his life. He starts hanging out with Frodo, telling him all of his adventures. And then there's the next era, which is the biggest adventure, right? The Lord of the Rings is the real true epic that follows that. And I feel like this is sort of the Hobbit version of this story. This is the almost the prequel to the thing that is ahead. And all the lessons that have been learned now are going to be moving forward through this gate of the Judgment card, and new things are happening. And why do I feel like there are new things happening here? I mean, besides just this being a card representing a new era, we have down here the Ace of Cups. So after returning from whatever this sort of walkabout type experience was, I think now you've got this cup that you want to fill. You've got this desire to connect with something new now. I mean, I think that's what set this off in the first place. But again, this is the closing of a chapter and the beginning of the next one. So now you're returning home, cleaning out all the stuff you brought back, and polishing up this nice new cup that you're going to take out and start filling. It's like your backpack that you're going to start filling with new experiences as you move forward with these lessons that you've learned thus far. You've got this receptive energy inside you. You're just ready to take in whatever new things are going to be presented to you, but not as carelessly as the initial Fool was. Now there is a little bit of maturity. So now you have a sense of what it is exactly that you're looking for. You may not know where it's going to come from, but you've got a sense of what it is that you're trying to approach. And up there at the top, the Four of Pentacles, this is now having an eye on finding some kind of foundation as you're moving forward into this. Now, he doesn't look like he's got a really good grip on that foundation, and perhaps that is a bit of the challenge as well, is as we move through to this next chapter. Perhaps one of the things that's been learned here is that foundations are, in some sense, a little wobbly. It's not foundations that are set in stone. It's not going to be a castle that protects you. It's going to be holding on to the essentials of what you need. And perhaps also a bit of why that card is up there in the forefront is it's an acknowledgement of the fact that perhaps you are holding on to more things than you perhaps need in order to find whatever this next thing is. I kind of feel like this is almost representative of, like, not necessarily the cup inside you that you're going to fill. I feel like this might actually be more of, like, what is calling you. This is like the holy grail that you're ready to want to go search for, to find the meaning of what sort of sparked this whole experience in the first place. The first era is done. Now it's time to really get on to the big prize. And up there at the top is the difficulty of juggling what needs to be kept, what needs to be left behind. What is it that we really truly need if we are going to pursue whatever this new quest is. But you're a Capricorn, so you're going to put in the time and work to do whatever you need to get this accomplished. Just a matter of getting the details worked out and just understanding the logistics of what this process is going to be. And that's why there's a Three of Pentacles in your general energy. This is planning, but not just theoretical planning. This is deciding, okay, we're going to do this. We're going to make this happen. So we're going to have to sit down. We're going to need to coordinate with other people, figure out what things we need, what things we don't need, what things need to be taken care of. This is the preparation. This is figuring out what the plan is going to look like. I mean, you can't figure the whole plan out, but this is deciding sort of the rough sketch of what it is that's going to be the next stage of whatever your journey is, whatever you're going to be entering into after you pass through this judgment. In fact, the Judgment card is sometimes called a gate of fire. I feel like this is the fire. This is the forging the things and the tools that you need as you move forward into this next chapter. And here with the Ace of Swords in your environment, this is really getting your head clear about where you want to be heading, what direction you're going to take your life, what kind of quest do you want to engage in, what things are going to bring value to your life, what is it that you're really wanting to accomplish next. And as you're going through this preparation, I think you're going to look around your environment, the people around you, this soul family that you've returned to, and sort of make sense of who of these people are going to go with me on this journey, and who of these are people that were just, players in a certain chapter. Right? This sword is what's going to be used to cut out the I don't want to use this, it sounds negative because I was just talking about people, but cutting out the fat of what it is that you're going to take with you as you go on this quest that's maybe not even like a physical thing. Maybe you're not going anywhere, but it's a journey to discover who you are and what you want to accomplish with your life. And so this sword is you getting clarity of what is not necessary and what is. It's the tool, like I said, that's going to be cutting out those extra pentacles and paring that down to something that is actually something you can carry forward, taking that 4, carving it out, and making it perhaps into a 3, which feels a little bit like a step backwards, but if you're going on a quest, you don't want to be carrying a ton of luggage. You want to carry just the essentials. So you're going to plan out what those essentials are, and again, part of what is important about this 3 is the collaborative effort, right? This is determining who you will and won't be working with, what institutions maybe even that you're going to align yourself with, and which ones that you will walk away from. Depending on whatever your goals are, as you get this clarity, you'll figure out exactly what it is that you should be connecting with and trying to build upon. This is the real foundation, right? This is the perceived foundation, and once you cut this down to what you really need, this is the foundation for growing something even better. We want to take the 4, pull it to this 3, and then sort of build this pyramid-like structure that then is going to grow into this focal point that is like this ace here. And then that's going to be like our compass guiding us in the right direction as well. Now, the challenge here is the Knight of Swords. I think that means that the challenge is getting started. I think that means that the challenge is really doing this work of clearing your mind. I mean, you may get a clear idea of what it is you want to accomplish, but then you have to take that idea and you need to inject that into the world. You have to then take those steps, right? It's like the Fool. I actually almost feel this like the Fool goes through the gateway. He returns home. He collects his thoughts. He figures out what it is he's searching for, what it is he needs to take with him, what he needs to leave behind, and how he's going to build upon it. And once he gets that clarity and he picks up that sword and passes through that gate, the Fool then transforms into this Knight of Swords, ready to face the challenges ahead, ready to fight whatever is going to be facing him in the near future. But there's a little bit of a recklessness with the Knight of Swords, right? He comes in with a big, quick burst of speed, just ready to go. It could perhaps be a little bit of an issue of making sure that you're not almost don't jump the gun is kind of the warning I feel from this. As you get clarity, make sure that you really do get honest clarity and that you really are cutting out the unnecessary things as you move into this journey. It feels like a big epic quest, really. But as you move forward into that, take care. I mean, it's interesting because we have the Knight of Swords followed by the Page of Wands, which are both cards of like, there's a certain air of throwing caution to the wind. And it's like with the Knight of Swords being the difficulty and the Page of Wands being the outcome, it really does feel like once this gets started, it's going to be unstoppable. It's going to be a force of just, like, for me, the Page of Wands has a little bit of air like the Fool. It is the Page has a little bit of this sort of naivety of just going in and jumping into it and seeing what's going to happen, just embracing whatever life is going to be presented to you. But the Page does so with like, to me, the Page of Wands feels like the Fool, but like on fire, like, but not caring that he's on fire, like moving forward, like literally engulfed in flames, but it's not hurting you. You're just like, all right, I'm on fire, like literally, let's do this. And so for the Knight of Swords, I mean, it's powerful push to just like, let's get the hell out of here and do this thing. And I feel with the Knight being there that it's a little bit of a warning about being too careless as this gets started. I feel like the Knight of Swords is in that particular position behind the Page to say that we need to make sure that we don't get a little too overly reckless with our thoughts. We need to make sure that the clarity of thought that is coming from the sword is being properly directed and not just being thrust forward. I mean, it's a good attitude to have. Embrace whatever's going to come before you, but just be a little cautious about going too hard too quickly. Right? I mean, be receptive to experiences. Like the Page of Wands is a fantastic energy to take on as you're moving forward into a journey. It's like you're the Fool all over again. Like I said, this is like the first sort of book in this chapter, or it's the first book in this like saga. And now it's moving on to volume 2. You're no longer the fool, you're the page, and I think that's fantastic. But again, it almost feels like with this knight here, like you're looking for a fight. And I think that's something to be careful about. Don't let the negative experiences from the fool's wing of the journey sort of bias you too much into having preconceived notions about what's going to be ahead as the page. I mean, lessons learned, of course, but don't let those lessons give you too much of a don't let them bias you too much. Really let your openness that comes with the page come through more than the desire to hack and slash that comes with the Knight of Swords. That's what I feel is coming out here. So, all right, so let's see what you don't see coming. What is the page going to be facing up ahead? The Lovers, of course. So that's fun. Whatever that might mean for you. I mean, it could be quite literal. It could be that as you move into this next era that you really do connect with a person. Maybe you find whatever that is that you're looking for in a romantic sense. But more generally, the Lovers is learning what you want to connect with, what you want to put your personal energy, what you want to attach your energy to. And it can be a person, but it could be an idea. It could be a way of life. It could be a project. It can be all kinds of things. It's just choosing something that you are so invested in that it essentially becomes a part of you. And the page, he's definitely looking for, his counterpart. And so for the Lovers to be what's ahead, again, this could be literal or it could be symbolic, but it's this next era of this quest is really going to be about finding your true calling and connecting with what this is that is going to be sort of the most resonant thing in your life. I think this is the beginning of the best era of your life. Is this, you're moving on to the second half of the story, and I think it's going to be a beautiful second half. All right, so let's see what's in the shadow deck. Again, I mean, as positive as this is, it comes with a caveat and a warning. I mean, don't just dive in, leave everything behind kind of energy. Be careful with that. Like I said, the Knight of Swords is looking for a fight. Be ready for adventure, like the Page of Wands, but don't go picking fights. Don't. And I don't necessarily mean that literally. I mean, don't go sticking your nose in things just to stick your nose in things. Whether that's getting up in other people's business or just diving into strange, weird situations. Be open to things that are presented to you, but do it in a wise way. You're not the fool. You're the Page of Wands. You're at least a level higher than the fool, right? So let your passion fuel you, but be smart. Use the lessons that you've learned up to this point. As we grow in our life, we're constantly learning new things, we're learning new skills, we're learning new lessons, and those are all tools that we can put into our toolbox as we navigate whatever the universe presents us. So with that page energy, be ready to take on whatever the universe presents to you, but let it be presented to you. Don't dive into it. It'll come to you. I really feel like that's the message. What it is that you want to move towards, it'll come to you. Just listen, pay attention to any kind of like synchronicities or any kind of like things that feel like a sort of calling inside of you. Follow that. Whatever that is, just listen to your intuition. If little things in your life seem to be pointing you in a certain direction, follow those messages, see where they take you. You don't have to like immediately do exactly what your gut tells you, but pay attention to it and reflect on it and see what it kind of helps you understand where it is that you're going. And I think you will be surprised what you find. Okay, so let's see what the shadow deck has for us. We've got a moon. Okay, we have a 3 of spheres, and we have a 5 of wands. So there's some stuff going on in your head for sure. You're ready for adventure, but I think you're hiding some heavy stuff inside you for sure. With the 3 of spheres, that's the 3 of pentacles. That's ready to build. You're ready to move forward and actually bring the ideas inside of your head out into the world. and you want to do this with other people. You're ready to collaborate. You're ready to experience and build. But I don't think you know what it is that you want to do. You just know that you want to do something. That's why the moon's here. You feel the call, but you don't really know where you're going. You don't really know what it is you don't yet have this Ace of Swords clarity that you need. There is something that is pulling you, but it's hidden what that pull is. And with the Five of Wands, that is all the different passions and things that excite you, just pulling you in all sorts of different directions internally. So as I said, I think the important thing is listen to whatever the universe starts to tell you. And maybe that sounds a little weird if you've never stopped and just listened to your intuition and paid attention to things that are happening around you. You'll be surprised how often you'll hear things that will just stick with you more than others. And like I said, you don't have to follow those things immediately, but reflect upon why that may have stood out to you, and you'll start to get a bit of an understanding of where whatever sort of belief about the universe you have, whatever it is that pushes you forward, whether that's something inside you, external to you, it doesn't matter. As you pay attention to those things that pull you in different directions, you'll start to realize that the more you think about why they're pulling you, the more clarity you'll get on what it is you actually want to move towards. And this sometimes can feel like you're being sort of nudged externally, but it's internal too. You have the choice to follow whatever it is you choose to follow. But if you don't have the clarity that you need, right, we're looking for this Ace of Swords, but you've got the energy of the moon inside your head. It's clouded. You got Five of Wands energy and moon energy. You don't know what you want to do. Inside your head, there's no path that seems very clear right now. But you're on this triple unicycle, wanting to move forward and having no idea how to actually work this ridiculous gadget. So just stop, listen to yourself, listen to the things around you, just listen to whatever is presented to you and let that sort of resonate with you, and that'll help you find this clarity that you need so that you can get that passion to move forward in a particular direction rather than feeling like you've got all these directions and you just don't know where to go. I think that'll be very, very constructive, and as you move forward, then eventually you'll find exactly what it is that you're trying to connect with. And we have an Ace of Spheres in what you don't see coming inside of your mind. What I think this is the seed of whatever this is that you're going to connect with. It's inside you already. Whatever it is you're trying to find, you've already got, whether you can connect with that idea or not, it's already inside you. You just have to find it. It's hiding in the moon, the darkness of the moon. So listen to your intuition. Let your thoughts help clarify this darkness, get a little bit of control on all those passions pulling you in all those different directions, and you'll be able to drive that ridiculous tri-unicycle. It's not a tricycle, it's a tri-unicycle. Whatever this thing is, you'll be able to learn how to use this ridiculous contraption, and that's how you'll be able to move forward in the world in whatever silly, fun way you want to present yourself. So this is that seed that you haven't got there yet, but it's inside you, and once you find it, then you'll be able to tap into connecting with what it is that you really are meant to connect with in your life. And fantastic, I love this. So I hope that was helpful. That's all I have for you today, Capricorn. As always, please like and subscribe if you have not already. I guess assuming you liked the video, of course, but help me with the algorithm if you can. And if you have any feedback or comments you'd like to leave, please drop those down below. And if there's anyone that you think would enjoy or benefit from this or any of my other videos, please feel free to share those as you see fit. But yeah, that's all I have for you today, Capricorn, and good luck on this next exciting chapter, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.